In a recent edition of reShape 333, we talked about the new chapter that churches are currently entering and the importance of investing in three priority areas: our physical face-to-face gathering, our digital online gathering, and thirdly, multiplying micro congregations as a strategy to those who probably will never enter your physical facility. In this reShape 333, what I want to do is to create some conversation for you and for your team around the second priority, the digital online space. It's not going away. And in all likelihood, it is your greatest current opportunity. So what are some shifts that need to be considered in your church? I want to talk about that. And I want to do it in the next 333 seconds. So let's get at it. Oh, and by the way, APOC is pretty nice. 2020 changed almost everything about the way that we do church. The global pandemic will serve as the accelerator in adopting an entirely new model of church, I believe, one that values the core essentials of who we are, and yet packages those in creative ways for a new generation. Now, some will immediately push back, I know. We don't have the resources to do both in-person and online gatherings and to do them both well. I hear that, I understand that, but please don't go there quite yet. Use this 333 as a prompter for some imaginative thinking and discussion, whether you agree or whether you disagree. So first off, let me establish a really obvious reality. My life and your life seamlessly move between in-person interaction and online interaction 100+ times a day. I meet with a pastor over coffee to discuss some strategic planning, and following that I hop onto a Zoom call with 16 colleagues for a staff meeting. I head to the cottage on a Sunday afternoon for a boat ride with my sister and brother-in-law, and then I FaceTime in the evening with my son and his wife in Grand Prairie. My life shifts between those two worlds seamlessly. And so the 21st century church has no option but to recognize that reality and to begin to engage in both spaces. If that is true, let me ask you to consider these four practical questions. Number one, what is our church's online engagement strategy? Is it solely to provide a way for people to watch the one Sunday service that we do each week for those that can't be there? Or is it to provide an additional gathering for your neighbors, one that is more intentionally shaped for them? Is there opportunity for learning, opportunity for small groups, opportunity for an online course, maybe a membership class? Can we dream about additional ways that an online congregation can connect? I want you to start here by answering that question. Given our context and given our resources, what is our church's online engagement strategy? Paint the picture for what that can be. Number two, given our online strategy, what resources will be necessary to achieve it? For example, if we're committed to these three things, what equipment will be necessary to do it well? And what people resources will be necessary to do it with excellence? This will, in all likelihood, require your congregation to shift some budgeting priorities. It means treating your online congregation with the same value as you treat your in-person folks. It will mean trimming probably some areas of your budget and probably raising some money as well so that you can invest in both a seamless in-person and online congregation. Number three, what are the two necessary essentials required to do online with both consistency and excellence? I'd say two things. Number one, you need to create a studio space. Designate a space where you can construct an attractive studio with good sound and good lighting. It doesn't need to be complex. It doesn't need to be large, but it needs to look engaging on a computer screen, and it needs to be left assembled so that you don't have to put it up and tear it down every week. Think about where that could be in your facility. And number two, you'll need to find some money to hire some help. You might have some volunteers that can do some of this, but paying someone, perhaps even for a day a week, will, number one, highlight its importance, and number two, will give time for editing and creating content and overseeing your online congregation. That will make all the difference. And number 4, how do we increase the impact of our online congregation? 3 things. Number 1, streaming your online church service is one piece. But could you try a 3-month pilot project where you create a 30 to 40 minute online worship service? Maybe there's an engaging welcome solely for those in your online congregation. A song or two. Maybe a prayer time dealing with the requests that have come in from your online folks. Maybe there's a personal story, a sermon that's been edited for 15 to 20 minutes. Perhaps some sermon reflection questions that can be posted after as well. Simple, abbreviated, intentionally created for your online congregation so that they don't feel like they're simply watching you go to church as you stream your service. Secondly, could you offer some online gathering opportunities? Perhaps twice a month you offer a Zoom gathering for 30 minutes. Maybe someone teaches on a topic like what did Jesus say, and they teach for 10 minutes, and then you enter into some dialogue on screen for 20 minutes. And finally, thirdly, maybe you offer some serving opportunity to get people together face to face. You invite people to serve someone in their neighborhood. Maybe for those that live in your community, you could invite them to a garbage cleanup of the local trail on an evening. And then maybe you gather for coffee afterwards. And then after that, maybe you have an online Zoom event where you share stories of what took place. Use the following conversation starters. Have some fun.